Okay, game week 5, class of 90, let's go.
Welcome to the class, bro.
I heard the pod was lacking a bit of football knowledge, so I thought I'd spruce it up.
This is the big one. So this was Arsenal versus Man City, and this finished 1-1 or 2-1 if you ask Arsenal fans the way they were celebrating.
Great banter, yes. So, watching the game, I feel like we set up too defensively. The starting lineup, I don't know why we started that. There was just a distinct lack of creativity in the players that they chose. Obviously, Saka's injured, fair enough, or coming back from injury, sorry. But I don't know why we don't have an Eze or Nwaneri there, or even
Saka being injured doesn't matter when you got Madueke in the team, bro. You know what I mean? The legend, apparently the amazing Madueke, the transformed Madueke is playing for. Why are they complaining about Saka?
Chances.
How did Pep Guardiola stop Arsenal? By putting a bunch of 6-foot+ players on the pitch to deal with the corners and having a keeper that will come and collect the corners. He nullified that threat, and Arsenal didn't look threatening for 95 minutes, however it was.
So you're saying that we didn't have chances outside of that? Well, to be fair, actually, we didn't have many. But we're playing against a great defence, and we're playing against... That's not...
Bro, that Man City team is not a great defence.
No. The thing is, if you actually look at some of the players they made, there was a chance right at the beginning where Martin Trossard should have just flicked it through for Victor Gyökeres, and he could have ran through. Possibly. I just think some of it was the decision making and the players that we used to start that match.
I hear it.
We didn't set out to win. If you look at that team, we didn't set out to win, and that's when I blame the manager. I don't necessarily blame the players. And then to our final game, Manchester United versus Chelsea, which finished Manchester 2 and Chelsea 1. One goal that is not red cards.
I'll let you talk your shit first, you know what I mean?
Let me cook. Do you know what's crazy? I predicted 2-2 for this game. What the fuck was I thinking? These jokers haven't beat us in, I think it's like 10 years or something at home. Why would I think they would even come and even collect a point? You think about all the crap seasons United have had. I think when we had Ragnick and, we were shit, I think it was still 1-1. Think about all the shit periods we had, and these jokers have never beaten us. Listen, the game started, and honestly, going into the game, I was like, you know what? Let's just not lose. Like, I know we're having a tough period. Let's just not lose, right? First 5 minutes, pressuring them. And it's like, it gets me mad when people are saying, they only had 10 men. That's why you beat them. No. We pressured them into losing a man. And at the end of the day, it was literally so easy. One straight long ball, Sesko does his thing. Do you know what I mean? I think was it Chalobah he beat in the air? Beat Chalobah in the air. Mbeumo, the guy might look heavy, but I'm telling you, the guy can run, So obviously, I think the keeper's got a slight touch to it, but it hasn't changed the trajectory of the ball. And, in the end, like, it should have been a red card. Casemiro being stupid. I don't know whether to blame Cas. I don't know whether to blame the manager, because once you see him on that yellow card, you need to take him off.
Yeah, you know what? At 2-0, I just stopped paying attention as much, but I still had hope. Maresca unfortunately didn't. When we got the red card, he kind of gave up.
Stupid.
But the honest truth of it is, United won that game because Robert Sanchez woke up that morning and decided that he was going to have a stinker in it. That's all there is to it. Without that moment, I'm so sure if Robert Sanchez had let Mbeumo go on and score, I'm so sure he would have come back and won that game. He was immediate.
Yeah, but his defenders let him down though, because you shouldn't be putting your keeper in that position. Imagine one straight long ball and someone's in through.
Come on, man. But what
are you doing on a training ground all week?
Chalobah's done that same thing in terms of jumping in and getting caught out because you've dived in. He's done that a few times this season, innit? It's like, when I was talking at the beginning of the season, this isn't the Chelsea 11 that I was picturing, innit? Cole getting injured had a big impact to our start of the season, and yeah, we're suffering a little bit because of it, but I still think we have enough. If we had 11 players on that pitch, I think we've still got enough. Even with 10 men, I personally think we could have given you guys a better game than what Maresca decided.
Cunha hadn't even come on yet. Cunha had, we had. I looked at our bench. Do you know what it is? I looked at our bench and I was like, "There's no way we're even losing this game," because it's like we just had a good squad there, and I think your manager was so stupid in his substitutions. Like he didn't even let anything marinate. Man saw the quick 2-0 and he got shook. Was he? Wait, I think he made the sub at the. He made a couple of subs. Yeah, I think it was 1. Was it 0-0? Was it 1-0?
Yeah, it was 0-0.
He made the sub so quickly. He just panicked. It's like my man just shit his pants and just said, okay, cool. Let me just lock everything up. Honestly, it was such poor management from Maresca, to be honest.
In defence of Maresca, I feel like post-game, a lot of Chelsea fans have been blowing things out of proportion in there. Oh, Maresca needs to go. He cost us the game. At the end of the day, you'll probably have that kind of scenario of a red card within the first 5 minutes once in his career, innit? It hasn't happened. No keeper's been sent off that early in 30 years, innit? It's not a situation that a manager was prepared for. And yes, he lost his head, but if that's your flaw, I can stick with that. If you're going to give us performances like what we've seen against PSG, what we've seen in the Conference League final, like there's something there in it. That is a flaw, cool, but ultimately, our last, I think we've lost like 5 games in the last 6, 7, 8 months. 3 of those games have been when we've got a red card. It's different, bro. Our thing is, we're actually a good team. Our start to the season hasn't been that good, but there's mitigating circumstances to that, innit? There's things that have happened outside of Maresca's control that have led us here, innit? I think people are panicking early for no reason. People are acting like, yeah, look, Chelsea aren't the team that everyone was saying they're going to be. It's way too early.
I don't think they are, to be honest. I don't think Chelsea can win the league. I don't think they will win the league this season. I think those sort of games kind of shows me that, one, your squad is inexperienced, which it is. You got one of the youngest squads in the league, but at the same time as well, I looked at your bench in terms of some of the people that, I get you have injuries, but I looked at the squad in terms of some of the people that were coming on for you guys, and I was like, I don't think some of these players are good enough to impact the game straight away, especially against the bigger teams, in my opinion, innit? And then just a quick word on your goalkeeper. I know a lot of the Chelsea fans are getting onto Sanchez, but it's funny because when I look at the backup that came on, he was even worse. That guy was fucking pants. I've never heard of him in my life, but honestly, for the second goal, I think I counted a good 4-5 seconds where the ball was in the air. My man was literally just jerking back and forth, deciding whether to come out. Stinky performance by the keeper.
And that's what I mean in terms of
performance.
What's Maresca? What are you going to do about that, innit? Your keepers have let you down.
Should have got a better keeper. You should have spotted that, though.
We've got a keeper out on loan in France,
Lad, man.
When he comes back, and the thing is, it might seem like, we're always waiting. Last season we were waiting for Esteval, and we need a striker, and this and that, and now maybe we're waiting for some of these players to come back. But I firmly believe in this project. I 100% still back Maresca, and I'm sure this Chelsea team
it won't be this year, though.
Greatness.
It won't be this year, though. Fulham versus Brentford, and that finished 3-1 to Fulham. Ali, talk us through it.
Fulham are really doing their thing this season. I can't lie. I thought they had a bit of a meaty squad at the start of the season. They didn't really sign anyone. They didn't look like they'd added to that team, but Marcus Silva knows how to get them playing. Iwobi's balling out again. I thought Iwobi was done when he left Arsenal, if I'm being honest with you, innit? Because he went Everton, it wasn't looking that good. It was decent, there was sparks, but now at Fulham, I feel like he's found his level and he's playing in a role where he's really shining still. Fulham might be the dark horses this season, where they could potentially break into that 6th, 7th kind of spot, maybe take Aston Villa's spot from last season.
I don't know if I agree with that, if I'm being so honest. I think the manager is one of those managers who knows how to put together a good team that doesn't have world-class players, but they've still got decent players. Although that being said, if you actually look at the team that they've slowly built up, I guess not added anything in this transfer window. They have Iwobi, Muniz, Kevin.
They're all solid Premier League players, these players that know they will get a job out of them.
Yeah, but then also, it's a team, they played Brentford. Brentford have been abysmal.
Hey, I bucked Brentford last weekend, bro. It's not an easy game, Brentford. Do you know what I mean?
That's another thing I was going to say. So using Chelsea as a barometer for how good Fulham is, that's, I don't know if that's the best yardstick to use.
These games are the games that the big teams will struggle in, because against us, they sit back. Against each other, they'll go for it a little bit more. That's why you get Fulham scoring 3 goals. But against us, they couldn't dream of scoring 3 goals, bro. They sat back the whole time, get the disallowed goal, but it's a whole different team when you're playing against another small team, innit? These men are actually they're actually a decent side, innit? And amongst themselves, they put up some good competition still.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, but I still think, I mean, I guess, you know, well done for them. They beat the team that's in front of them, but, you know, Brentford didn't exactly look like they were on their A game. I mean, they started the game more right. I think they even scored first. But, you know, Damsgaard seems to be their only sort of glimmer of hope so far in the season. And obviously they lost Wisa and Boemo, you know, in the season. And that's where pretty much all of their goals came from last season. So obviously they're going to struggle. Yeah, but...
It is a bit of a toothless team, this Brentford team this year, and it's not the Brentford of previous years. They've got the long throw weapon and a bit of set pieces, but apart from that, honestly, I'm a bit worried for Brentford this season still.
Liverpool versus Everton, which finished 2-1. Over to you, Churchill.
Okay, so do you know what? I actually watched that game, and I'd be real, like, at the start, I'd say it was kind of even, low-key.
Yeah.
Like, both teams looked like they were really up for it, and obviously Liverpool got the early goal. Gravenberg, man, I can't lie. He's a great player. Yeah. I'm a hater.
Yeah, but there's no hating.
From the badge, you can see I'm hating. I'm fuming.
There's actually no hating on that one, I can't lie.
Like, it's crazy. Like, he's this, like, 6'3" midfielder that just glides on the ground. But then at the same time as well, he's got the vision. He's got the pass. He's got the, do you know what I mean? He's got the mentality as well.
FM players know about Gravenberg, innit? My man, he was a wonder kid, innit? And
was he?
Yeah. When he went, I think he was at Ajax. When he went Bayern, his stocks went down a little bit, but fair play to him.
I can't believe Bayern let him go, to be honest. Like, that one stunned me at the time, because I think even United were linked to him and I wasn't really quite sure. But obviously now he's proven his worth. Obviously he got a goal, a wonderful assist as well. No, he bossed that game, to be honest. I thought Grealish looked quite impressive as well.
Grealish was really good.
Yeah. He looked like a really good outlet, to be fair. I thought Everton, you know, gave it a really good go. You know, shout out to the Liverpool right back as well. I thought that he handled, you know, Grealish to some extent.
Yeah.
But again, Grealish is always a bright spark, and honestly, he just looks like a rejuvenated player since he's been to Everton, really. But yeah, Moyes got them playing well. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
At 2-0, I thought, this could be long. It could be a long day.
I feel sorry for Everton with that game, innit? In the last 2-3 years, since they brought in all of this added time stuff, I've not seen a Premier League game have 1 minute added time in the first half and 3 minutes in the second. But
Crazy.
Liverpool are losing.
Liverpool, innit?
They don't need the extra time to get a goal back that they've been doing the last couple of weeks. Last week, how long added time they have? 8 minutes, something? The week before, the same, because they needed a goal. You know what I mean? The Anfield crowd was definitely influencing the ref.
110%.
And I feel like if that game wasn't at Anfield, Everton probably nick a draw still.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely agree. The referee was doing bullshit that whole
Bro, he
game.
gave a yellow.
Did you see that?
Free kick quickly.
I've never seen that in my life before. If anything, you call it back. Listen, you Liverpool fans, I don't know what you man are paying. I see all the money you man been spending on players. I don't know how much you're paying the ref, but cut that shit out, man. Cut it out, because that's crazy. I can't lie to you. But yeah, you know, big up Liverpool. Played well. Isaac came on. Looked very meaty. Verts. Has he hit that 007 yet? I see people talking about the whole what was it, Community Shield. That does not count. That does not count. That don't count. That guy is on 006 at the moment.
Yeah, it's getting there. But I'm still a little bit more wary of Liverpool now than I was of the other top three teams.
Yeah.
Because it's like, right, if you're winning now and getting the results, what happens when it clicks, innit? When it finally looks like this team is gelled together, it's going to look scary, innit? But hopefully it doesn't go that way.
Yeah, I'm just praying African Cup of Nations, sort of haunts them when it comes to that, right? Because obviously they may lose Salah, lose a couple of other players there as well. But honestly, like, I just look at their squad and I'm like, they have, you know, really good squad. Similar to Arsenal, obviously they have a packed squad as well. But again, we know Arsenal love finishing second, right? So no chance there. Next game, this was Bournemouth versus Newcastle. That finished 0-0.
I've been telling people about Newcastle, innit? They were already kind of above where they should be in the last 2 seasons, innit? I think they're a team that is building something, and FFP and that maybe is restricting how far they should be at this point. But yeah, that team, I feel like it's just full of a lot of players that's just not top level, not necessarily Champions League level, innit? And I think this season is going to be a tough one for them. Coming from that tough summer they had already, morale's a little bit low. Losing Isaac, Wissa, it's a good addition, but again, I don't think he's enough. I don't think he's Champions League level. I don't think he's enough to get you anywhere really, innit? And Volta made he's an unknown, innit? I don't trust players coming from the Bundesliga. And really and truly, that game was just a bit of nothing, innit? Like, Bournemouth, you know what you're going to get with Bournemouth right now, innit? A good defensive performance. They're going to be solid. You're going to have to create if you're gonna get something there, innit? And I don't think they've got enough creativity. And I think a lot of teams will struggle there as well, but Newcastle, you need to do a bit better.
To be honest, I don't even think it's just the Isaac thing. I think the fact that a lot of players that they tried to buy basically said no to them kind of shows what club they may be regarded as. I don't know if it's fair to say that they're playing above their level. I think Newcastle is a good team, and actually what happened is that they were underperforming before. But, you know, I guess that's open to interpretation. But you're right, if you look at this team, you really question, where do the goals come from? You know, their striker done well. I think he scored in his first game.
Yeah, he scored in his
first game. So, you know, so it's good to get the ball running. But I think the word the commentators would use is they looked a bit lackluster going forward. So I don't know how they're really going to address that issue. And I mean, they've got the rest of the season or at least half the season to get through till they get to the next transfer window. But it's definitely going to be tough for them.
I think with Newcastle, they've got a lot of like studious players in it that will work hard in that, but they're not necessarily the most creative. Like if you look at Anthony Gordon in it, he's a good winger in terms of he'll make the runs, he's decent on the ball, but is he creative enough? I don't know, innit? Same goes for Elanga. On the counter-attack, brilliant, innit? He's got the pace to get in behind, but is he going to create that moment of magic in a game like against Bournemouth where they're very good defensively? I don't think he's that level of player, but really and truly, they will improve, innit? And I'm probably talking shit from a perspective. When we buck Bournemouth, the game is probably going to be a tough game, innit, as well, but I'd like to think we've got enough individual flair, individual magic to kind of make the thing happen still.
Next game is Brighton versus Tottenham Hotspur, 2-2 draw.
That was the first game that I've seen Brighton and thought...
They turned up.
Yeah, well, apart from the Man City game, they've been this season, and maybe it is just them this season, they're a bit up and down, innit? Like, the consistency ain't really there, but they do have some gems. I don't know how they keep finding them.
They always have gems.
Yeah, like they'll sell one man, two man, but they'll find somebody else in it. Ayari, that was a decent goal from him. Like that team, there's a team there, but it's just not anything special. I think they'll fall into the same bracket as Newcastle, Aston Villa and Fulham. I think that would be the next best batch in the Premier League.
They do have that blend of experienced players and young players as well. Obviously, they've got Milner, they've got Welbeck as well. So they've got a good blend of experience and young players there. And at the same time as well, you look at their manager, right? You know, he's a young coach. But yeah, I think I just want to take a second to talk about Belieber, right? Because I think, listen, Brighton, he's not a 100 million player anymore. At the time when United wanted him, you should have just dashed him to us, you know? You could have got 100 million like that.
A discount.
Bro, now you want a discount. At 50 we're giving you. Because honestly, he looks unrecognisable. Like, I don't know what Brighton have done to him, but it's like, come man, like, I think the manager just needs to put an arm around him and just say to him, listen, you'll get your move later, but for now, you just need to do what you need to do. But yeah, I think Brighton at the moment, you know, they haven't really had a good start to the season. But on the other hand, Tottenham, to be honest with you, they look like a resilient team. Tottenham are, like, I know I said this last time, but Thomas Frank, like, what he's doing to Tottenham at the moment, I genuinely didn't expect it. I'll be honest with you. Who knows? Maybe it's Daniel Levy leaving, you know, maybe new manager bounce, I don't know, but they look really good. They look like a proper tidy squad, you know. One player comes off, you know, you think about some of the players they're missing, like, you know, Kulusevski, for example, but then obviously they've got Kudus at the moment. You know, what a nice choice to have, whether you're going to play Kudus or Kulusevski at some point.
Yeah, they've actually got a good squad there, innit? There's dangerous players, 110%. And that's still unknowns like Xavi Simons. We still don't know what we're going to get from him. I think Solanke might be injured from the start of the season. He hasn't had much game time. Richarlison, they've got a decent team there, innit? They've got a decent manager now. I think they're still a bit up and down, but I think it's a more resilient Tottenham team than we've seen previously, innit? It's not necessarily, as a Chelsea fan, play Tottenham, I'm expecting a win, innit? This season, I'd be a bit worried playing Tottenham.
No, 110%. Tottenham last season would have lost that game, 1000%. Brighton last season probably would have won that game, you know? So it's like, you know, you can see the you know, the sort of difference between both teams coming into the new season, right? So, but yeah, all in all, really good game. Saw bits and bobs of it, but yeah, both teams, you know, look quite strong, right? But But yeah, let's see what both teams can produce going forward.
Over to the next game, which is Burnley versus Nottingham Forest, 1-1.
I thought that was such a meaty game, to be honest. Like, two average, not even average, because I think Burnley are below average. If anything,
Burnley are definitely below average.
Yeah, really good point for them, to be honest. But Nottingham Forest, you got to look at it and you're like, fuck is Ange doing, man?
Yeah.
Fuck is he doing?
It looks like he's taken what was a good team, and you know what I mean? Maybe to be fair to them, they've got to adjust to this new, because Ange, as we know, his style of play, what we saw last season, is different to what we saw from Nottingham Forest last season. And Nottingham Forest is very much low block, will defend in it. They haven't, in the first game that I saw of them, they didn't go straight to Ange's high line kind of thing, but that might be he's kind of trying to find the balance.
It's probably the owner, man. That owner's probably got him in the back pocket, said to him, don't do that highlight show over here, bro.
I hear it, though, but they're actually, because they've got a decent squad there again, innit? Like, Nottingham Forest is one of the teams that they spend quite a bit.
They did.
Like, they get a few additions here and there. I think they went with their new wingers this weekend and clearly didn't have the best result. I think that's a game that they should be winning easily, even though it is at Burnley at home. But Scott Parker might be cooking something. I think Scott Parker.
Yeah, no, 110%. I think he's been unlucky in a few games. I remember obviously they played United. I watched that game again. Some would argue we probably should have bored them off the park, to be honest. But I think it was one of those ones where obviously again we kind of got lucky with the penalty, and then Liverpool as well, similar thing happened to them where Hannibal made the stupid decision to put his hand up, or reflex or whatever. But I think honestly, like, Scott Parker, he's a good manager, he's emotional, he tells the truth, and I like him as a manager, even as a person as well. He's always been one of those sort of sturdy sort of guys, right? So yeah, I don't know whether I predicted them to go down. I probably did, knowing me at the start.
I think they're the worst of the teams that have come up, and that's what it looks like so far. So,
but they've had hard fixtures, though. You think about the fixtures they've had, in comparison to like the Sunderland. You think about it, they faced Liverpool, they faced United, they faced who else did they face? Who was the team they just faced? Nottingham Forest. So it's like they have faced some difficult teams in comparison to like some of their lower counterparts, right? Like, maybe say Leeds, for example. So I'd say give them a bit of time, man. I think, Burnley, with the squad they have, I look at like Lyle Foster, for example, he's getting them goals as well. So I'm not too worried about them, but again, it's a long season, so you never know what's to come. And then looking at the next game, lads, that was Sunderland versus Aston Villa. That finished 1-1 apiece. Wayne, talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, Aston Villa, I know a lot of people are probably crying in the FPL. Ollie Watkins, Morgan Rogers, where are the goals? I don't know. It's a bit of a tough one, because if you look at the squad on paper, they're quite good, and even defensively you would say they're quite good, but they're just lacking goals at the moment, and obviously goals win games, so...
I can't lie, Aston Villa's another team that I try to tell the people about. And do you know what? I was saying it from a hater point of view, because people were trying to put Aston Villa and Newcastle on the same level as Chelsea in the last couple of seasons, because we've been competing with them to get in that top four. They took our spot for a season, but they were just holding our place. I think they've just kind of ran out of steam a bit. Teams have started playing against Aston Villa with a bit more respect in it, which now means that their normal play isn't sufficient in it. They're not treating them as a small team that we can go gung ho and try to get a result. They're more on it's Aston Villa, they're a European side. Let's be a bit respectful. Let's sit back and wait for our chances in it, and they don't know how to cope against that. That's the hardest thing about being a big team, and now these teams are starting to learn.
Okay, guys, we'll go to the next game, which is West Ham United versus Crystal Palace. Finished 2-1 Crystal Palace.
Ooh, London derby.
That game was closer than I thought it would.
No, 110%. 110%.
I thought West Ham were going to get absolutely run over, but Crystal Palace, minus Eze, yeah. I don't know how great Crystal Palace, yeah, even at home, bro.
London Stadium.
Bro, we whooped them at London Stadium. Tottenham whooped them at London Stadium, innit? And fair enough, Crystal Palace ain't quite that level, but I think Oliver Glasner's got them cooking a bit more than West Ham have, innit?
Absolutely cooking.
I was expecting them to get whooped, but it was an expected result for them to lose.
I think, okay, cool, I expected Palace to do the business, but I wouldn't say I expected Palace to go in there all guns blazing, because Palace haven't been scoring a lot this season. Let's be honest. I think since they've lost Eze, they've got the new guy Pino that's come in. Like I didn't expect them to go in there and win like 4-0 or something like that. I expected it to be a close game, which it was. And it was like an old school, sort of London derby between two sort of mediocre teams, right? In terms of both teams scoring from corners. And West Ham, especially, they've conceded so many goals from corners. And you wouldn't expect that from a West Ham team that have a lot of tall players, right? So I think that was a big surprise for me. But again, Palace, they're now what? I don't know. I think it's like 16 games unbeaten or whatever. Glasner, he's just doing such a great job, to be honest. And he's one of those managers that are just old school, no nonsense, knows what he wants to do. If players want to leave, he blocks that shit. You get me? He'd be blocking players moving. And it's one of those where, honestly, I don't see him staying at Palace for a long time. I genuinely see him moving on from Palace within the next year, because I think he's too good of a manager to be managing like a mediocre team like Palace. And I'm sorry to say that to Palace fans, but let's be honest, innit? One trophy in your history is a bit mad.
It's a stepping stone club, innit? And I'm sure he took the job with that kind of in mind, innit? If we're being real, you go to Palace, you do a good job there. One of the big 6 teams might be looking at you, so there might be a job opening up at Old Trafford soon. You never know.
I hope not. I hope not.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go to our next game, which is Wolverhampton versus Leeds, and that finished 3-1 to Leeds United.
That was a shocker to me. I'll be honest, that was a shocker, because I really did expect Wolves' I'd say season to start. Like, honestly, I saw the game on paper and I was like, bro, like, they're facing Leeds. Realistically, this is like your relegation counterparts. You should be winning games like this. And to go away losing 3-1 was just a bit crazy. The one player that I do want to highlight on the Leeds side is obviously my Ibo brother, Okafor. Honestly, like since they've signed him from AC Milan, he has been looking sharp. And I think that was the game, obviously, where, he scored a really good goal. And he just, to be honest, even when he left AC Milan to go to Leeds, imagine leaving Milan to go to Leeds.
No, but that's the power of the Premier League these days, isn't it? Like, you're leaving a club like Milan, you're a Champions League level player, Europa League level player.
I was stunned.
And you're going down to a relegation side. But the money talks, innit? Leeds, I think they've got some decent players in there, but you shouldn't be losing that game, innit? I thought Wolves would get maybe a dirty win, 1-0 or something, like, just use it. They gave their manager a new contract before that game, innit? So it's like, what are we missing, innit? Like, in terms of, cool, clearly you're ready to stick with this manager, but I don't think things are going right now, innit? The season has started off poorly. They had some tough games. City was a tough game for them. And I thought maybe that was, like, it was just unlucky. But that game made me think that, if I was Wolves fans, I'd be getting a bit worried still.
Yeah, I'm sure manager's not sleeping well. He's definitely not sleeping well.
Yeah,
he's probably tossing and turning like.
But he's a seasoned European manager as well. Like, you should be getting more out of this team.
But it's the Premier League. I think if you don't obviously add some more depth into your squad, which, to be honest with you, I don't think Wolves did enough of. Obviously, they did well with keeping Larson, for example, but again, he hasn't really got going for them to some extent, right? So I think it's going to be a difficult season for Wolves, and I think for Leeds, fantastic start again, right? For a new team coming into the Premier League, I fully expected them to like go down straight away, if I'm being honest. But Leeds have done well so far, and let's see where it takes them.
Do you know what it is? There's a few teams in the last couple of seasons that have consistently been flirting with relegation. Everton being one of them. Wolves, I think they're one of the main culprits in it, and I think they've been getting away with it because the teams that have been coming up have been so bad. But this season looks like it might be a different story.